You will never convince me that the technocrat bros are anything less than the worst that humanity has to offer. There is something deeply, profoundly twisted and wrong with these men. I mean, I could give you a whole laundry list of the ways that these guys are absolutely depraved and deranged, not the least of which is the fact that they're hoarding massive quantities of wealth while billions of people around the world live in poverty. And in fact, these guys are enriching themselves off of the suffering of other people. But let's just use the most recent example that came out in the last 24 hours from Palantir and its CEO, Alex Karp. Now, Republicans are rolling out automatic registration for selective service. We can't have automatic voter registration in this country. That's too complicated, but they're going to automatically sign our sons up for the draft when they turn 18. Why is it that these warmongering Republicans need to automatically register our sons for the draft? And keep in mind, it's not just going to be American citizens. It will be any young man when he turns 18, including undocumented immigrants. I want to make it as easy as possible for them to kill our sons in foreign wars of aggression so that they can, make the oil companies richer, make the CEOs richer, make themselves richer. But in this conversation about registration for selective service, Palantir and Alex Karp have now come out and said, actually, there should be compulsory military service for all Americans. Alex Karp, not a veteran, he did not serve, right? But he wants your children and you to have compulsory military service. Lest we not forget, Palantir makes billions of dollars from our tax money killing people overseas, surveilling American citizens, right? They're all about surveillance and death and war. Their entire business model is using our tax dollars to get rich, doing horrible things to people here and abroad. Now, I want to read you this post of 22 items that Palantir put out on Twitter late yesterday. But before I do that, I just want to give you a little refresher on who Alex Karp is.
A lot of decisions when we began talking, annoying each other 10 years ago. Hopefully I'm annoying you as much as 10 years ago, or more. When I made you know this, yeah. Every decision Palantir made, FDEs, going public, building products, enterprise, large data sets, going to government, acknowledging American superiority, being pro-meritocracy, launching an AI platform, calling into question that AI models would actually be able to perform without orchestration. Every single one, our ontology, every single one of those was viewed as stupid.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let's not talk to analysts about the burden of being right, our burdens of investing in ontology, our burdens of actually looking at the math, the burden of reading what the Rule of 40 is, the burden of being honest about what an enterprise software company is, or the burden of explaining to your friends that you're really happy. Maybe we should just stop talking about it. I'm very happy to have you along for the journey, and you are partners for us. Every Palantirian, we are crushing it. Everyone else who's listening, we are dedicating our company. We have dedicated our company to the service of the West and the United States of America, and we're super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. And we love our success in the U.S. and globally. Also, you know, we are doing in the United Kingdom and many other places. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that. We hope you're enjoying being a partner, and we're really happy and very, very focused on what we're doing. Thank you.
I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying. Our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior. Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
This is drone targeting, or what is this?
Targeting of all kinds. You need to wake up scared and go to bed scared. Safe means that the other person is scared. So the primary source of death in Palestine is the fact that Hamas has realized that there are millions and millions of useful idiots.
You show me rates of anti-Semitism, I'll show you the health of your culture.
Do not treat all cultures as equal. We're going to either have AI and determine the rules, or our adversaries will have it and they'll determine the rules. There were, unfortunately, way too many people on October 7th who were happy. Palantir is here to disrupt and, when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
When I say these guys are depraved and there's something deeply wrong with them, I am not fucking kidding. They do not see us as human beings at all. They see themselves as godlike figures, and they want a technocratic feudal state where we are all serfs, we are slaves who live to serve them. These guys were already real weirdos to begin with, but now they have been insulated by their extreme wealth. They're in a little cloister surrounded by other technocrat bros. They all, right, like feed off each other's weird ideas. And then they're encircled by all of these yes men who provide this feedback loop that helps them think that their ideas are good and normal and like should be praised, right? It just is, right? With that in mind, we all know that these guys are truly despicable, but Alex Karp is particularly. Let me read you what Palantir posted on Twitter yesterday. I am quoting here from Newsweek. Palantir made a post on Twitter about the company's position, saying in part, quote, "Because we get asked a lot, the Technological Republic in brief," before sharing 22 credos outlined in the book, The Technological Republic, which was written by Alex Karp and Nicholas Zeminska. Okay, so here's the 22 things that they barfed up all over Twitter. Be aware that they use a lot of kind of like corporate tech bro speak that sounds like it's sophisticated and they think it's really intellectual and philosophical, and it's not. Okay, before I read through these, it's also important to understand how much they twist concepts like freedom and democracy and prosperity and defense. I think there's a lot of copium going on here, and it really tells me how warped their perception of reality is. This is also the perception that you get if you listen to them speak in an interview for any length of time. You're just like, well, you're a real weirdie. This is some pseudo-intellectual bullshit, and also you love to make love to your own face, obviously. Okay, number one, Silicon Valley owes a moral debt to the country that made its rise possible. The engineering elite of Silicon Valley has an affirmative obligation to participate in the defense of the nation, but y'all are the ones threatening the liberty of the American people. Y'all are the ones who are a threat to our nation, so how are you going to defend us against yourself? Number two, we must rebel against the tyranny of the apps. Okay. Is the iPhone our greatest creative, if not crowning achievement as a civilization? How warped do you have to be to think that the iPhone is our crowning achievement as a civilization? Yeah, the object has changed our lives, but it may now also be limiting and constraining our sense of the possible. Number three, this one I find wild. Free email is not enough. The decadence of a culture or civilization, and indeed its ruling class, will be forgiven only if that culture is capable of delivering economic growth and security for the people. Y'all have delivered none of those things, and no, your decadence will not be forgiven. Number four, the limits of soft power, of soaring rhetoric alone have been exposed. The ability of free and democratic societies to prevail requires something more than moral appeal. It requires hard power, and hard power in this century will be built on software. This is very Trumpian, right? Donald Trump and Stephen Miller don't believe in soft power, much to their own detriment. The prioritization of hard power and thinking that hard power is built on software, they're clearly saying AI will be the hard. AI, surveillance, drones, murdering people is the future power that we will flex in order to control people. Okay. Number five, the question is not whether AI weapons will be built, it is who will build them and for what purpose. Our adversaries will not pause to indulge in theatrical debates about the merits of developing technologies with critical military and national security applications. They will proceed. Basically, they want to AI drone arms race, right? And they think that they're going to win it because they get billions and billions and billions of our taxpayer dollars in government contracts every year. Okay. Number six, national service should be a universal duty. We should, as a society, seriously consider moving away from an all-volunteer force and only fight the next war if everyone shares in the risk and the cost. Alex Karp, are you going to enlist? Why aren't you over fighting in Iran right now? Everybody has to share. Oh, but you don't mean you. You don't mean the billionaires. You mean the rest of us. You mean 340 million of us. As if we weren't already sharing the risk and the cost. If it wasn't already our sons and daughters dying over there. If it wasn't already our billions of dollars being spent every single day on a war that is driving up the cost of everything at home. Not just gasoline, everything at home. And making us weaker on the international stage. Imperiling everybody. Destabilizing the Middle East. That is a cost and a risk that we are already experiencing while you are profiting from it, Alex Karp. Number 7, if a U.S. Marine asks for a better rifle, we should build it. And the same goes for software. We should, as a country, be capable of continuing a debate about the appropriateness of military action abroad while remaining unflinching in our commitment to those we have asked to step into harm's way. Okay. It's just me, or does this read like AI wrote it? It was like, AI, write this and make it sound intellectual. Number 8, public service. Oh, by the way, Google AI overview wrong more than 10% of the time. What were you saying about building better software, Alex Karp? Number 8, public servants need not be our priests. Any business that compensated its employees in the way that the federal government compensates public servants would struggle to survive. So you think members of Congress need a raise. What about teachers? Alex Karp, well, you sit on hundreds of billions of dollars. How much should we be paying our teachers, right? Don't you want to do away with these jobs and replace them with AI and have our tax dollars go straight to you instead of to paying public servants more? What if we didn't have the war machine spending $2 billion a day? Think how much we could pay our public servants. Our folks who work for the Forest Service, oh wait, Donald Trump's fired all of them. The EPA scientists, oh wait, Donald Trump has fired all of them. What were you saying about public servants? What was that? Number 9, we should show far more grace toward those who have subjected themselves to public life. The eradication of any space for forgiveness, a jettisoning of any tolerance for the complexities and contradictions of the human psyche may leave us with a cast of characters at the helm we will grow to regret. Well, what are you saying there, Alex? You are a Trump supporter. What exactly are you saying there? Number 10, the psychologization of modern politics is leading us astray. Those who look to the political arena to nourish their soul and sense of self, who rely too heavily on their internal life finding expression in people they may never meet, will be left disappointed. See how they're saying nothing? I hate pseudo-intellectualism. Okay, number 11, our society has grown too eager to hasten and is often gleeful at the demise of its enemies. The vanquishing of an opponent is a moment to pause, not rejoice. Really? Okay. Is that what Elon Musk was like waving a chainsaw at CPAC? Is that what that was about? Okay. Number 12, the atomic age is ending. One age of deterrence, the atomic age, is ending, and a new era of deterrence built on AI is set to begin. Okay, sure. Yeah. Number 13, no other country in the history of the world has advanced progressive values more than this one. That's arguable. The United States is far from perfect, but it is easy to forget how much more opportunity exists in this country for those who are not hereditary elites than in any other nation on the planet. That's not true at all. That's not true, right? And also the ability for people to bring themselves up out of the lower class has been steadily declining since about 1973, rapidly declining, right? We were at peak kind of egalitarianism, opportunity, access in this country in the early 1970s. And guess what changed? Guess what made it start to deteriorate? Trickle-down economics, Ronald Reagan, no longer taxing the rich, right? We've been steadily declining. American power has made possible an extraordinarily long peace. Peace for whom? Because we've been waging war against people pretty much nonstop my entire life. Too many have forgotten or perhaps take for granted that nearly a century of some version of peace has prevailed in the world without a great power military conflict. That's not true. At least 3 generations, billions of people and their children and now grandchildren have never known a world war. There is war happening all the time just because it's not a world war, and Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu seem like they want to low-key start a world war. Now, Alex Karp, you are monetarily benefiting from that. Number 15, the post-war neutering of Germany and Japan must be undone. The defanging of Germany was an overcorrection for which Europe is now paying a heavy price. A similar and highly theatrical commitment to Japanese pacifism will, if maintained, also threaten to shift the balance of power in Asia. Weird. You saying that because the AfD party is trying to rear its ugly head and gain power in Germany, and also because there's a lot of people on the far right in Japan who are trying to organize. Like what is this? What is this stemming from? What factual basis do you have for this? Number 16, we should applaud those who attempt to build where the market has failed to act. The culture almost snickers at Musk's interest in grand narrative. Yeah, because he's He's a fucking idiot, right? As if billionaires ought to simply stay in their lane of enriching themselves. That's all you guys do. You don't bring any value. You just enrich yourselves and scam all of the rest of us and inflict harm. Any curiosity or genuine interest in the value of what he has created is essentially dismissed. What value? Explain to me in detail what value Elon Musk has brought to the world. Because, you know, like Tesla wouldn't be solvent without our tax dollars. It would have gone under without our tax dollars. And also, what was it that is happening with Cybertrucks, right? 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 of them are actually being sold to Elon Musk's companies, not to actual consumers. Y'all are fucking grifting and gaming the system. Tell me what one thing Elon Musk has done that has benefited society in any way that outweighs the Holocaust he has launched against the world's poor by gutting USAID. He did that because he was being investigated for crimes, and he was trying to punish the agencies who were investigating him, and also because he's low-key a Yahtzee, right? Right? Anybody praising Elon Musk and trying to make us think that he's somehow some genius who's making the world a better place, and that he has any ideas of value sloshing around in his ketamine-addled brain, right? They all reinforce, these billionaires all reinforce each other's delusions. They're standing around telling each other, no, it's not 3. Definitely looks like 10.5 inches to me. Yeah, totally. Silicon Valley must play a role in addressing violent crime. No, it shouldn't. You know, the number one thing that reduces violent crime in this country? Decreasing poverty. How about we tax the shit out of you all, end poverty, give everybody housing, feed everybody, provide universal health care, and then we will see the biggest decline in violent crime in our lifetimes. Many politicians across the US have essentially shrugged when it comes to violent crime. That's not true. Abandoning any serious efforts to address the problem or take on any risk with their constituencies or donors in coming up with solutions and experiments in what should be a desperate bid to save lives. Please read this as they want a police state powered by AI and powered by robots, and they think that the way to deal with violent crime is more surveillance, more infringement on your rights, not treating the underlying causes of crime, right? Number 18, the ruthless exposure of the private lives of public figures drives far too much talent away from government service. The public arena and the shallow and petty assaults against those who dare to do something other than enrich themselves has become so unforgiving that the Republic is left with a significant roster of ineffectual, empty vessels whose ambition one would forgive if there were any genuine belief structure lurking within. You support Donald Trump, Alex Karp. Also, it really says to me that these technocrat bros, they really want to be feudal lords. I mean, we know that they do. They really want to run the country. Elon Musk thought that he was basically running Donald Trump and the White House, right? They don't want their shit. They don't want their dirty laundry exposed. They don't want everybody to know all of their secrets. That's what that statement is about. It was about the political ambitions of the technocrat bros. Number 19, the caution in public life that we unwittingly encourage is corrosive. Those who say nothing wrong often say nothing much at all. You want a police surveillance state. Y'all brag about how you're monitoring everything we say and do. You are filming us in public all of the time. And now you say that we're too cautious, right? We're afraid to say anything wrong. Number 20, the pervasive intolerance of religious belief in certain circles must be resisted. The elite's intolerance of religious belief is perhaps one of the most telling signs that its political project constitutes a less open intellectual movement than many. Okay, so this has a lot to do with the really weird, I don't even want to call it theology, the really weird heretical beliefs that these guys have. Peter Thiel in particular, fixated on the Antichrist. These guys love to quote J.R.R. Tolkien. They love to quote the Bible, all out of context because they don't really understand the stories therein. This is a weird comment, a weird statement. What is it that you mean? Tell me in detail. Be explicit. A lot of words used to say not very much at all. Okay, number 21. Some cultures have produced vital advances. Others remain dysfunctional and regressive. All cultures are now equal. Criticism and value judgments are forbidden. Yet this new dogma glosses over the fact that certain cultures and indeed subcultures have produced wonders. Others have proven middling or worse, regressive and harmful. I mean, we could talk about the subculture of MAGA and how it is regressive, right? It is a harmful subculture, right? Low key wanting to do a xenophobia there, a la Elon Musk. Okay, number 22, we must resist the shallow temptation of a vacant and hollow pluralism. Oh my God, not pluralism. We in America, and more broadly the West, have for the past half century resisted defining national cultures in the name of inclusivity. But inclusion into what? Oh, you want a defined national culture. What would that look like, Alex Karp? Would that be techno-feudalism? Is that what you want? You want to be worshipped as a god and you want all of us to be your little serfs? That's the kind of nationalism that you aspire to? Keep in mind, these 22 points came out of Karp and Zamiska's book, which calls for reorientation, saying that tech companies should actively partner with democratic governments as a matter of national security, meaning that AI and thus the technocrat bros are not financially solvent without billions of dollars of taxpayer money each year. These guys need the military-industrial complex, they need the war machine, they need our tax dollars in order to maintain their status and their profitability. It is an exploitive system founded on harm, founded on killing, founded on a violation of our rights. What good are these guys bringing to society? What good? What good? Why the fuck should we listen to them when they say that we should have forced military service for all Americans? Why are we listening to them about anything? Why are we not taxing them out of existence already?